everybody, it's Stephen and Walter in the land of Oz, in for our daily report of what happened today. And this is on March the 31st. Ooh, tomorrow's April Fool's Day.
Yes, it was Easter Sunday.
Yes, it was. And we had an enjoyable dinner, but more about that later. So let's talk with what we did this morning. So we checked out of the other hotel. Didn't really have any brekkie there because the facilities weren't such that you could. I mean, there was a fridge in there, as you saw in the previous video.
Well, actually, they did have an option for you to order breakfast in, but we didn't take that.
We didn't take that option. They provided a kettle, though, so you could boil some water and have some instant coffee. Instant coffee wasn't bad, but it's instant coffee. What can I say? But anyways, and then we got onto the road, and
this location wasn't that far away. It was about an hour
and a half.
Yeah.
Something like that. It was about 140 kilometers or something like that?
I think it was 160 or 150.
Okay, well, one or the other. It was there. It wasn't that far away. So we actually stopped on the way because we needed to get some gas. We were all confused about gas. First of all, we had to figure out what side of the car the gas tank was on because this is a rental car. We got that figured out. Walter had it all solved and then promptly tried to proceed into a bay that was not on the right side of where the gas thing was. So we got that sorted out. And then, okay, this rental car, it is recommended that we use 91
octane gas.
Octane gas.
Of course, the place that we stopped at didn't have 91 octane. It just had regular, and it had like 94.
They had 94, 95, and 96. They didn't have a 91.
So I just assumed we'll get the standard gas because
it's gas.
Yeah, anyway, so I think it's okay. It runs okay, I guess.
But anyways, also, it looked on this pump. I don't think we had to do that, but you can put in the amount, I know that's very common in gas stations, especially in the States. You put in a certain amount and then you go inside to pay after you've got that amount in. In Canada, it's hit and miss how that works. But anyway, so we put in, we hit the 20 twice, so we had 40, but really we needed more than that in there. But anyways, then we tried to change it, but we couldn't change it. So we just pumped $40 worth of gas into the car, and so be it. It's enough. We've got enough gas in the car to get us going. Like, what did it put it up to? The car tells you what the range is.
Yeah, 780 or
something like that. I thought it was a little.
So we're good.
We're fine
tomorrow.
It's not a problem. Anyways, went in, paid for it. I have to say, have not run into one person at any sales area that has been hard to deal with. They've all been extremely nice. A woman in the gas station says, "Hello, good morning." I went, "Hi. Good morning." It always, we have a baby next door crying. Isn't that nice? Could you just start up the car and we'll just run over it? Just maybe a light bump. Anyways, so yeah, we did that. And in the same gas station area, it was a service center on the side of the highway. There was McDonald's. So we ordered brekkie. Holy crap, the days of cheap brekkies. It's the same in our country with McDonald's.
Yeah, but we also had cappuccinos with it.
Well, we got a combo.
Yeah, I guess that only the combo was supposedly $12.99 each, but it came out to 23 something.
No, it came out to 26 something.
Oh, okay. Well, then that would make sense because it was $12.99 each.
Yeah,
it was on their board.
Yeah.
Well, it was was it a bacon?
It was bacon, egg, McMuffin,
and a hash brown, and a large cappuccino.
And we got a medium cappuccino in there. So yeah, but the days of when we used to think McDonald's was cheap, really for the kind of food you're getting, whatever. So we had that, drank the coffee. One thing I always say, I do like McDonald's coffee. Out of all the fast food type places where you get coffee, I do like McDonald's. The McRoast it's nice. Sure, it's probably not at the standard of, I was going to say Starbucks, but I haven't had Starbucks in a long time and I have no idea. I think that's one of those things where people have drank the Kool-Aid, and they think, ooh, Starbucks, I pay $8 for a cup of coffee, it must be good. Not. But anyway, so we did that and we got here to Cuff Harbor.
Cough.
Cough Harbor.
Cough Harbor.
Okay, Disease Bay. Whatever. So we're here. It's a small place. It's only about 25,000 people. Lot less people on the streets here than what we're in when we were at the other place, Port Macquarie.
Yeah, just an off thing. If the $26 Australian dollars translates to $16.94 USA dollars.
Oh, to US, I was going to say,
Yeah.
not to Canadian.
No.
See, yeah, Americans, you're missing out here. You need to understand, as you know, I've constant debate with you. You need to understand exchange rates. An Aussie dollar is not the same as an American dollar, but right now, Americans, you're getting a bargain. Like what Walter just said, about $10 less for what we have.
So for every one American dollar, it buys you $1.54 Australian dollars.
50% more.
Yeah.
Like, really, you need to travel, and take advantage of the fact that your dollar is the strongest dollar pretty much in the world. Well, I think it is the strongest.
Yeah, so
currency
our
in the world.
$26 breakfast would have cost $17 American.
Yeah. But anyways, I know some of you will still not get that and will not understand it, and do not ask me questions about it because I am done explaining exchange rates to you people. Okay, moving on. So we got here and we were a little early. It was only about 11:15 or so, and check-in time's at 2:00. But I just said, really nice people and the whole bit. There was one of the ladies who was cleaning out the rooms and everything, and we asked her, said, we're here early. We know check-in is for 2:00. Can we check in? And she goes, oh, well, I can try and, do something, but you could tell she wasn't really sure of the procedure or whatever. I said, we said, not to worry. That's okay. We'll come back at 2. But I said, are we okay to leave our car here? And she says, oh, yeah, sure. Leave your car. It's not a problem and everything like that. And so we did. And we went for a bit of a trundle. And there was a shopping mall, and you'll see it in the video clips here. Pretty large one, actually. And it had a Target in it. It had Woolies, a Woolworths, and a Big W, which is part of Woolworths.
Yeah, Woolworths is, we said in the previous thing, is a grocery store.
Yeah, grocery store. They often shorten it to Woolies. People will refer to it as Woolies here. And we also in the distance saw Spotlight. Now, Spotlight, and again, I have video clips after we're done this part of this, is a craft fabric bedding kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's sort of like a Joann's or a Michael's with a Bath and Beyond kind of vibe to it in it. So we walked up to the mall, and we decided first thing is we'd go to Spotlight because it was kind of across the street. Yeah, that was a bit tricky because it was all traffic coming off of and going onto traffic circles to roundabouts.
And some of the traffic was coming down from the highway, and so
Yeah, it was
we had
kind
to
of
dodge cars.
we had to dodge, yeah, and it wasn't a pretty sight. But we made it and got there and got to do it again when we came back. So we went up to the Spotlight and we bought some fabric. They had some Aboriginal fabric. I didn't buy very much, but it was stuff that I didn't have already at home, but would go with my collection. And they were having a big sale. It was like $30 a meter, which is expensive. $30 a meter Aussie dollars. But they had 40% off. So it dropped it down to about $16.50 Aussie dollars per meter. And then in Canadian money, it's slightly less. I think we'll just look at that up right now.
In US dollars, that would have been $10.75.
Yeah.
And in our money in Canadian dollars was $14.63.
So that's pretty good. That's cheaper than what I buy it at my local quilt store.
And I felt the material, it feels like really nice quality.
Yeah.
So
Walter bought 3 meters of one of the patterns to make a shirt.
yeah, because I didn't really like the patterns that much of the other ones that were there. But I did like one of the patterns very much, and I have to be careful as to how much I can take back with me as well. So
Yeah, I mean, we don't have that much room in our suitcases.
well, unless we get another suitcase.
Well, yeah, well, we'll see. If we suddenly hit the mother load and we can't resist, then it might be worth it. But I'm not really looking for that. But I bought 4 meters, 4 different fabrics, 1 meter each. Usually I buy 2 meters, but I figured that was pushing it. So, anyways, speaking of which, of all unlikely places, I took a picture of the bathroom floor in the last place because
bathroom floor at the last place we stayed.
the last place we stayed. And my idea is I might develop a pattern from this, a
Had a
block.
very unique tiling pattern in the bathroom.
I think it'd make a really cool quilt made up of these blocks, and I think I can easily enough make it into a block. So yeah, look for that. That might be my 3rd pattern. Not coming up for a few months yet, but maybe. And I'm also thinking that when I do this, I'll make it out of my Australian fabrics. I think that might be kind of cool, and also inspired by the bathroom floor in an Australian hotel. Yeah, gives me a name for it. Hotel block. I don't know. Aussie
Cell
bathroom.
block.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, we got here and went to the mall and looked around. We went to an Aldi's. Now, I know in parts of the United States they now have Aldi's. We do not in Canada. They won't start anything in Canada because they claim that they can't compete with what we already have as what they call discount grocery stores. Depends on who you're talking about, how much of a discount it is. But anyways, we have been in Aldi's before in other places we have been over the years. But we went in and there is a video in here as well. You'll see, looking at the prices. Bananas are expensive here. And bananas are like $3.99 a kilogram. We pay
2.2 pounds.
Yeah, we pay about $1.10 for a kilogram in our grocery store. So, and the ironic part is they have a banana plantation very close to here, which we were talking about going to, but we looked at it and it's basically an amusement park. You can take a self-guided tour through the banana plantation. Sounded a little hokey.
I think we're going to stop there on the way out tomorrow.
Yeah, well, yeah, we haven't canceled the idea. It may have less people at it tomorrow. Maybe not.
First thing in the morning.
First thing in the morning, yeah, kind of a thing, because it does cater to families and kids and everything, because they have rides and stuff like that. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But anyways, we looked around in the Aldi's because we picked up a salad, a baked salad kit. We thought we could have that later tonight. We were just going to go out and have, a light lunch sort of a thing or whatever. Talk more about that in a minute because that didn't turn out to be light in many ways. So then what did we? So we sat here for a little while to get rested up.
Well, we got that at the Aldi's.
And we went to Woolies. And we went to Target, and it was just as shitty as the Target that we had in Canada for a while. And anyways, and then we walked our way back here to the hotel room, sat around for a bit, caught up on a few different things, and I watched Stephanie's latest video from her last Saturday or this Saturday, whatever. This is Sunday here. So maybe that was last week she did that. I don't know. I lose track of time. She's doing the rope bowl thing, which I had no desire to do a rope bowl, but after I watched her and Russ working on it, I'm kind of thinking when I get home, I might try to make one of those myself. But anyways, that. So then we went out again and we went and walked down to where the beach is. And I've got lots of footage showing the beach. Very deserted. There's nobody there in comparison to the number of people from the last place we were at. And it's very scenic, very nice. And we made our way to, I guess, is the business district, the downtown, or whatever.
Well, I thought it would be busier there, but it didn't seem to be that busy. So,
But we found this restaurant that was open called Isme or something, and it had sort of a Mediterranean vibe to it. So we decided, okay, let's eat here. So we had, we both ordered got a beer, and we both had souvlaki. Walter had the chicken. I decided to be daring and have the lamb. And I kind of figured because here in Australia, lamb is a biggie for them. So they probably do lamb right. I don't like gamey lamb. Does anybody? And I do like lamb. But we never have it at home very often. And sometimes I'm afraid if I order in a restaurant, it's going to taste too gamey. So anyways, this came. Absolutely delicious. I gave Walter a piece to try.
Yeah, I didn't order it because I don't like it if it's even a bit gamey, and so I had a piece of his. It was really good. In some ways, I should have ordered it, but
I thought later it came. There was a lot of meat. It came with 2 skewers of the meat, and they were large. There was left. If I had a thought about it when it came, and after you tried that, you had 2 skewers of chicken. I had 2 skewers of the lamb. We could have just each taken a skewer of the other.
True, yeah.
I didn't think of that until pretty much had devoured it all. And it came with like a Greek salad. And I have to say, every salad I've had in terms of like a tossed salad or a Greek salad, I don't know. It's a simple dressing they're using. It's just a vinaigrette, but it's delicious.
Yeah.
And I would really like to know what's in it.
And it came with some nice bread and stuff like that.
some
And a nice dip
pita
too, yeah.
And it was actually, I think it was a tzatziki, but they'd added something to it to make it kind of spicy.
Yeah.
And it was very nice. I took pictures of it, or took video too, to show you what that looks like. And you'll see that shortly. So then we had another beer and decided to have dessert. And they had a creme brulee, salted caramel creme brulee.
Yeah.
It wasn't particularly cheap. It was about $16 for that, but it was a big amount too. This place certainly doesn't skimp.
We could have actually shared it.
Yeah,
but,
we could have.
But anyway, we didn't, so we had one each. So.
We had one each, but it was really good. There's video on that too. And so then when we finished the beers, now it's time to walk our butts back here. But before that, of course, I had to pay for the bill. So I go up to the cash. And just recently today, I've been using Apple Pay. And because I never use it. I mean, our country, it's available most places. But today, I set it up for the card and I've been using it. And it's been working fine until this restaurant. So he put everything up and on his thing, and I put my thing down to tap it, and it got declined. All right, well, so I tried again, decline. So I said, well, it doesn't like Apple Pay. I said, so maybe I'll just use the card then. So I took the card, he set it up again, I tapped the card, nope, decline. This is unusual, this should not be declined. So I said, can we try it with, where's the slot? He had a screen kind of a thing. He pointed at the slot. So, okay, I'll try it that way. Put in my PIN number, decline. I put the PIN number in again because did I do it too fast or something? Did I, screw up? Nope. Decline. So I pulled out my Visa card, no problem. Bang, boom, gone. Walter's theory is that maybe we'd hit the daily limit that you can put on that card. I didn't think I had a daily limit on the card. In fact, I'm pretty sure I didn't because we've used that card.
Well, you never know. I don't know.
Or it was their system or whatever. And so I'm hoping that's all it is because that's the principal card we use. I mean, we're not stranded by any means, but I mean, just a little worrisome, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I have 2 other cards I can use too. So.
Yeah. Now, it was a hefty bill.
Yeah.
Because that dinner cost us and then, double dipping here. We've told you you don't tip in Australia. But today there's a surcharge because this is considered a holiday and they put a surcharge of about 15% on top of your bill order. And we knew that, so that's fine. But then when I got the card to work and it came up, gave me a range, you know how they do on those electronic things, for a tip. Well, I panicked. I thought, wait, I didn't think. So I hit 15%, kind of a thing. So basically 15%, 50%, they got 30% more for it. So yeah, I don't know if this was a little bit of a, not necessarily a scam.
Well, see, the thing is this restaurant had full service.
That's true. It had table service.
Yeah.
So, except when they didn't bring you your bill, you had to go up and do that. But, so I don't know. It's neither here nor there. So the total bill came to $182 for the two of us. But it was really good. So, you know, if it's really good, I can't complain about anything that we had to eat. It was absolutely delicious. And you'll see that in the video, as I've said, coming up here shortly. So we decided, when we were finished, we had to walk back here. So we took a different route, and that was fine. We saw a little different scenery, but we didn't get mugged or anything like that. But I don't think you have to worry about that here.
Yeah, that's one nice thing about Australia is you can walk pretty much anywhere you want to walk.
Yeah.
And
feel perfectly secure.
And feel perfectly safe.
Yeah. So why does my thing keep going here? Just go away.
End workout.
End workout. Yeah, okay, I'm done. Yeah. So anything else to tell you about? Well, what's tomorrow? Tomorrow we're heading towards, where are we going?
Well, the Gold Coast.
Oh, the Gold Coast is tomorrow.
And it's a little bit of a hike to get up there, so we're going to have to stop somewhere along the way. I'd like to maybe try and stop at Byron Bay, but it might be really busy there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, well, maybe. I mean, tomorrow is basically the last day of the long weekend here in Australia. I don't know if, being Australians, they probably milk it to the last minute with it, because these people enjoy their holidays and enjoy their fun time. So, and nothing against that. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's not like we're in any kind of rush on this trip. We're taking it as it comes, you know, one step at a time. I've been hearing from some of you. You're saying how much you're enjoying these videos, and we're very happy that you are. And if you are enjoying the videos, and if you're new to my channel, please hit the subscribe button and hit the bell button for notifications to be sure to know exactly when we're sending things out. Also, you will see notifications for any shorts that I put up, and I've put up 2 shorts today as well. And there was one last night about ice cream. Okay, that's it for us today. I'm going to now insert everything, all the footage I took today for your enjoyment, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Okay, so we're in the car and on the road to Coffs Harbor, which is about 100.
Coffs Harbor.
What is
Coffs.
it?
Coffs Harbor.
Coffs.
Like it's sort of like cuff on the end of your arm, but it's like with an O, cuff.
So what's the relationship there? Okay,
well, you know, how do you spell a cuff? Okay.
C-U-F-F.
Right. Well, this is the same. This is it. So it's if you think of Coffs Harbor, yeah.
Okay, Letty said, whatever. We're going there. We're about 135 kilometers away or so from it. Now you'll notice here, dark cloud and a little bit of rain, and we're hitting intermittent showers as we drive along here. Right now we're between showers. I don't know if this is going to last all day. I didn't check the weather forecast, although the long distance one said there wasn't supposed to be anything. But then again, maybe this is normal in maybe this time of the day.
We've noticed that since we've been here, it's often overcast at the beginning of the day and then it clears up. So I don't know if that's normal or not.
So it might be. We're not going to worry about it. It's not a big deal. We are thinking today possibly of going to some place called the Big Banana. I guess they have a big banana there. Here's the problem though. We might run into the same situation as we ran into for that zoo yesterday, in that because this is a holiday weekend and this is the Sunday of the holiday weekend, and this place has a children's area in it, it may be just packed, and if so, we will not be going to the Big Banana. I don't think
they do have an ice cream shop, but the whole thing will contend on if we get parking or not.
Yeah, so we have to wait and see about that. But yeah, so that's what we're doing today. show you a little bit over here on the side where the highway seems to be elevated and there's a lot of cows. I don't know if you can see them. I'm trying to get past this railing.
It's raining out.
Yeah, I know it's raining out. But anyways, just shows you a little bit of the landscape again and farming area. This is cattle or cows. I don't know, maybe they're milk cows. I guess they're milk cows, I think.
How can you tell?
I don't know. They're standing around with glasses of milk in their hand going, I like milk.
Got milk.
Got milk. We have it here. I mean, I don't pretend I know anything about farming because I'm not on a farm. But there's lots of moo-moos. Well, the rain has stopped for now. Still some darkish clouds in the sky, but I thought I'd show you again the terrain. It changes as we've been going through this trip. I mean, we started off, we saw rock face, and now and hilly country. This is, I guess, hilly too, but now there's seen more vegetation here in this particular spot.
Hillier up ahead.
Gets a little what?
Hillier up ahead.
Hilly up ahead. Okay. In some ways, it doesn't look all that much different from Canada, but when you look at it a little more closely, yeah, no fir trees. You see all these trees, and I don't know what these trees are, but we don't. They're not like our trees. But then, of course, it is Australia, so there wouldn't be the same, would there? No, there wouldn't. And I'm sure someone will remind me of that in the comments. Oh yes, there's different trees in Australia. Thank you for that information. Over in the distance, you can see some mountains. That's a house. Well, you would trust me. There were some mountains in the distance over there. Right now, it's a little bit more like bushes. Wait, maybe you see something here. No, maybe not. That's one problem with you look out your side window and you're trying to take a shot of something, and yeah.
And you're so slow, and you're a 66-year-old slow man.
Yeah, I am not. It's because there's a lot of bushes. You can't see the scenery because of the bushes. That's what the problem is. That's my story. Sticking to it. So we have stopped at a service center to get some gas, and of course there happens to be a Macca's here, so we are going to have something to eat as well, a little brekkie. Okay, we've arrived in Cuffs Harbor, and we're at the mall that's here. This is not a very big town. It's got a population of about 25,000 according to the internet. So this is a plaza here, and it is Sunday, but everything seems to be pretty much open. And they have an Aldi and a bunch of other places. There's a Big W here and a Woolworths, and way over in yonder there's a Spotlight, but I don't know how you get to it or whatever. We may not be going over there. Is it? So we may explore that. We've got all day. A little quick look at the flora and fauna. And these are bird of paradise. I always think they're really interesting looking plants. They're very different. I can see why they call it a bird of paradise because of the shape. Okay, we just took our life into our own hands to get across all the different traffic spots here to the side that has the Spotlight. And why are we risking our life for a Spotlight? Well, probably for nothing. We've been to Spotlight before. It is sort of the equivalent of a Michael's or a Joann's in our own country. Of course, I stand to be corrected right now. Walter thinks it's more like a Kmart, which don't exist in our country anymore, in Canada. But whatever. Actually, they have Kmarts in Australia, but they're not the Kmarts that we know in North America.
Or did know.
Or did know, yeah. In fact, haven't seen one on this trip, but we saw one on the last trip, so I don't know. Maybe they're far and few between. Maybe they don't exist. That was a while ago. Anyways, we're going to explore Spotlight because they do sell fabric here as well. But yeah, I'm not going here for the fabric because I have a feeling the quality it's kind of like Joann's, yeah. Okay, we're going to go into Spotlight. I don't know how much videoing I can do in here. I will see. Just to give you a sense of what this is all about. So this gives you a little bit of an idea. It's a big place. They have everything, bed linens. I think they have some crafting supplies, the fabric somewhere. At least I'm going by right now what our experience was the last time we were in one of these. Home furnishings, towels. Fabric down here at the end. Of course, what I'm looking for is indigenous. And let's see what they have here. Okay, here's some stuff. However, you can see it's very wide. It is not quilting cotton. It's more of a canvas or outdoor fabric or that kind of thing. But look at the prices on this one here. It says, if you get an orange ticket, take another 50% off the price. So for this one particular right here, it would be only $3 a meter as opposed to $6. Of course, who wants it? But that's why it's on sale. But you know, if you were hunting around, none of this I'm interested in because it's not the kind of thing that I want. Oh, that one's of Australia. It's kind of a canvas though.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, I don't think we're going to find any like cotton or fabric. Here, you want a serger? $300 for a serger. Oh, here we go. Now we've got the cotton. In fact, quarter bundles. So it's 40% off all fabrics by the meter and panel. Fat quarters. So what's...
I can't see, there doesn't have a price on it. Oh, it says $30.
For a meter?
I think so.
Probably. Well, that's what I was told at carrier. But that's 40% off the $30. So that's what? $3, $6, $9, $12 off the 30, which puts it at $18 a meter, which is what we pay. Aussie dollars. So we get 15% off that. But I'm not interested in any of these fabrics unless it's Aboriginal. Looks like there's some Juicy Juice down there. But right there, bottom shelf, the black with the white lines. That looks like a Juicy Juice.
I don't know if I need...
No, there's some there. And there's a whole bunch down there. Now, what are they charging for that? $30? It's priceless. 40% off all quilting fabric by the meter. Regularly $5 now, $3, $8, $4.80. So they've worked it out for you. And the prices. Well, let's take a look through this just out of curiosity. So here's your selection of sewing machines.
Pretty basic.
Elna. Somebody was asking today about the M7 and whether the Elna version of it was just as good, and it is. And the price that you were looking at, whoever you were, I think is fair. Have to remember we buy everything in Canadian dollars, not in American, so they sell a lot of singers. Quilter's Choice.
Never heard of that.
Yes, I have. Quilter's Choice, I think, is a brother machine that they have over here, but I'm not absolutely sure about that.
Well, they do sell brother products.
Yeah. Well, they do have, yeah, here's Brothers here all along this row. And this is all their sewing supplies section here.
They're not fairly expensive.
Yeah, I don't know how this compares to a Joann's. I can't remember. I think it's a little better in terms of selection. Quilting tools, here you go. If you're into ruler foot quilting, they've got stencils. Wool ironing mat. Some rulers, they don't seem to have a big selection of rulers. Cutting mats. Ooh, big clips. Yeah, I have to watch what I buy because I only have so much room, and just bought 4 meters of fabric.
There's no point in buying anything that you can get back home.
Well, no.
Even if it's cheaper, it's just not worth lugging.
It's not worth lugging around, no. Well, anything like this, these rulers and things like that, no, I don't need any more rulers to start with, and I'm going to try to carry a ruler home. But this just gives you an idea of the selection here. And fat quarter bundles, but nothing of any, pretty standard. Solids, like that. I didn't see, though, any fat quarters of, oops, spoke too soon. That's not Aboriginal. Yes, it is. How much for that fat quarter?
I like this fabric.
Yeah, I know.
Sure could add in a bundle.
You sure it's not there?
I don't think so. It's $35. I imagine it. I don't know if it's.
All apparel fabrics. That's not apparel.
Well, no, it's apparel. It's all fabrics by the meter and panel, but it
And panels, but not.
Fat quarter bundles or anything.
No.
Yeah.
Well, that's. I've got some at home, anyways. I don't think that's that great a deal. Okay, so that was Spotlight, and I did buy some fabric. I bought 4 meters of fabric. Worked out to $16.50 a meter Aussie dollars, so that's in around, I don't know, about $15 a meter roughly, which is what I pay at our local quilt store, but it was Aboriginal. And I would have liked to have bought more, but I got to take into consideration how much I can get in my suitcase and get back home to Canada, of course. We were talking to a lovely couple, though, of Aussies there, and I actually passed out a couple of my Idiot Quilter business cards. I don't think I brought enough with me for this. I should have brought more. Thought about it, didn't do it. But yeah, everybody here's, like every place we've gone, they're very friendly, very helpful in the stores and everything, which is so different from what we're used to in Canada. So this is inside the mall. You can see it's a fair size. We're on one of the arteries right now, but it looks like the main hall is down that part, so we'll take a look at that. And not that we're doing any shopping, we're just kind of looking around, seeing what there is. Okay, we're making our way over to the Aldi. Now, we've been to Aldi's before in other places, and these have recently come to the States, but we do not have any Aldi's in Canada because apparently we have too many what they consider discount food stores and they can't compete. So we'll see. We'll go in here and take a look around and see what kind of things they have and figure out whether or not they could compete. Okay. Bananas here, $3.99 a kilogram. We pay $8.10 Canadian per kilogram for bananas. They have a banana plantation close here. That seems kind of weird. Our favorite kind of cheese, tasty cheese, $5.49. Oh, that's for slices. That's slices, but I don't see. Oh wait, here we have the.
That's the same price as we paid.
That
What's
works.
A bigger size?
That's bigger. You can't really compare it to what we have because we don't have this kind. I don't think that's an unreasonable price though.
No.
Or that. So. Chippies. We haven't had any chippies. We haven't had any chippies since we've been here. Walter and his chippies. $8.89.
Yeah, but we don't need that many bags.
No, we don't. And they have weird kinds in there.
No, they have Aussie kind.
Well. Lots of Arnott's cookies. Walter's on the hunt for chips.
No, these are all big bags.
Nobody seems to sell small bags anymore.
Well, no, this is a grocery store, like, you know, unless you get one of these bags that has all these other
Yeah,
things
but they've
in
got
it.
ones that I like. I'm not a biggie on the tasty cheese or the natural ones. I'm picky about my chips. I don't even eat them. I take one chip, that's enough. So they have food, they have housewares, have a little bit of everything. Don't really have an extensive food section.
No.
I don't know if all of them are this way or not. Oh, there we go.
$14.99.
You can get them on Amazon.
Yeah, I know. Bread mix. Paper towels.
Salad dressings.
Tomato sauce.
There you go. This is what they consider ketchup. Comes in squeezy bottles. They call it tomato sauce. So I don't know, maybe some of the Americans on here that shop in Aldi's in the States, you can tell us if this is what they're like in the States too, or if this is different. So this is our hotel room, and this place is called Royal Palms, and it's kind of a nice room. We have a sitting area, as you can see. Walter's taking advantage of that, studying all of the paperwork that comes with the room. And yes, this one does not have USB outlets per se, but there's enough standard outlets and we have enough equipment that we're able to make it work. So here on the night side table, I'm able to plug in my phone and my watch. Walter will be able to do the same on his side because there's a similar contraption there. And then over here, I'm able to hook it up so that I can use my iPad on this bench area. It comes with a toaster, which is nice, and a coffee kettle, glasses, and this little carafe as well. Now, here's the fun thing that we've noticed since we've been in Australia. The last place we were at, and this place, put the glasses for the room inside the little fridge, which is down here to keep them cool, which I don't think that's a bad idea at all. Of course, under here, and all protected, we have some coffee cups and spoons and instant coffee. We had some of the instant coffee in the other place this morning, and although I haven't drank instant coffee in years, it wasn't too bad. I mean, yeah, you're not going to get the same qualities out of a coffee maker, but it does okay for what's here. And he offered us some milk out of their fridge in the check-in at the reception desk, but we don't take anything in our coffee, so we didn't need it. And I noticed there was a small container of milk for coffee in the other hotel we were in as well. So they do provide those kind of things for you. Again, some outlets back in there, lots of outlets in the room. TV is not huge, but that's okay, doesn't really matter. Microwave, and of course the fridge, which I mentioned before. And the bed looks comfortable, as you can see. And there's a closet back in here, the air conditioning unit, and the bathroom. Now the bathroom's okay. The shower stall is fine. It's got a curtain on it, that's fine. No problem. Nice vanity and everything, so yeah, hair dryers provided on the wall. Not that either one of us uses a hair dryer, especially Walter. He doesn't. He just likes to let his dry naturally. The 2 strands he has. And there is studying away. And so I'll show you what we bought at Spotlight. I bought 4 meters of fabric, so 1 meter of each, Fab Original. They were on sale, as you heard me, which you will have heard me already say in the video that I made when we went to Spotlight. But here are the fabrics. And I purposely picked ones that I think will go together well, plus go along with the things I already have at home. Now, it doesn't mean this is all I'm going to buy when we're here, but if I see something else that's somewhat unique, then I will purchase that. So, yeah, and how much is this room costing us a night, Walter?
$230 Australian dollars.
Which isn't bad.
Which is about 200, I guess.
Yeah,
Canadian dollars.
about 200 Canadian, which is not bad at all. And outside the window, we got the car parked here. We do have a sitting area as well. I mean, it's not a balcony, but it suffices for the length of time we're here. So after we get a little bit refreshed here, have a little rest, we're off to truck down to, where are we going?
Actually, you can walk towards the marina. It's about a 35-minute walk to get to the marina.
Okay.
But if we find a place to eat along the way, we could do that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm suitably pleased with the accommodation, I have to say. And once again, everybody we've run into so far in Australia in the service industry, whether at a store or here in the hotels, all very friendly, very accommodating. As I've said many times before, in North America, there's a lesson to be learned from the Aussies. They know how to do service right. So we're walking our way down to the waterfront along the street that we are staying on. And just gives you an idea of what it looks here. Walter says it kind of reminds him of Florida. In many ways, yes, it does look a little like the architecture does remind you of Florida, like Fort Lauderdale, that kind of thing. But a little cleaner.
Yeah.
And we're not really afraid of someone jumping out with a gun. Sorry, Americans, but it's true. So what we have here is a bottle mart, and this is a drive-through liquor store. You drive up to a window, you order what you want, pay for it, they bring it out to the car or put it through the window, and away you go. But we went through one of these on one of our trips to Australia, never seen anything like this before, and we weren't really sure what you were supposed to do. So we walked up to the window, and the guy said, he said, you can come inside. And sure enough, there were doors. We didn't see them, and we felt like idiots. And then you could walk in. It's just like a regular place where you buy liquor. But yeah, so if you're ever in Australia and you're going through a drive-through, but you're walking, just walk inside to get your liquor. You don't have to go up to the window. Some pretty flowers. I don't know what you call these. I have seen them before, either in pictures or someplace.
A lot of big tables.
Oh yeah. He's talking about a restaurant across the street where you can hear the drums. Maybe you can hear them, maybe you can't. And he's looking up the menu. Okay, this is lawn bowling. I don't know if I can get a better shot.
Chips.
Which is something that we do have in our country, but I think it's more popular here in Australia than in Canada. But you know what they say, lawn bowlers may be playing with their balls, but curlers get their rocks off. So we're taking this little path that takes us out to the beach. And hopefully there's no snakes or anything. Walter's stopping to take a picture. Please protect dune rehabilitation work using walkers provided. You can tell which dunes are being rehabilitated. They're the ones in the walkers. So this is what we're walking on. It's a little bit rough. Yeah, I know. Well, I don't think I'm going down there. Good shots here. Nobody on the beach. Okay, Walter's trying to kill himself. This is rather treacherous. I don't know why we're doing it. He's attracted to sand. This is not for old men. And then he stops. Some surfers down there. Quite lovely. So this is Cops Harbor Beach. Walter says he thinks this is also the Tasman Sea. Let me go double check. He's looking it up. Some more, another flowering tree of some sort. Don't really know what it is. It has these yellow blooms. And we're walking now.
Lots of bugs in them.
Oh, lots of bugs. Yeah, they're buggy flowers. And this is a walkway bicycle path, I guess. Yeah, really they need to divide it because you could be run down by an Aussie on a bicycle. I think Aussies like biking a lot. And if so, then I think they need to really think about that in their infrastructure. Maybe because you get one little ding and next thing you've got a bike tire up your backside. So, yeah. Some more flowers in violet, purpley, and that kind of thing. Walter says they look like petunias in a marijuana plant. So we're not really sure what those are either, but they're kind of pretty. Another shot of the water in the beach area from a different spot. Quite picturesque. So we've come to this place to eat tonight, Izmi, I guess, and they have a very Mediterranean type menu. We're both having the souvlaki and Walter's having the chicken, but I'm gonna try the lamb. I don't mind lamb. I'm always a little worried if it's a bit gamey, but after all, this is Australia, so they probably do lamb very well here. Walter is studying the menu, as you can see. And well, we're kind of on the main drag here of this town, but there's not a whole lot of places that are open or to choose from. So this one was, so we picked it. And well, we'll see how things work out. Okay, we're sitting in Cops Harbor and we're out for dinner and we're at a Mediterranean style restaurant, we think, according to the menu. There's Walter studying something. We both ordered the souvlaki. You ordered what? The chicken, didn't you?
Yeah.
You ordered the chicken. I ordered the lamb. I'm taking a chance on the lamb, but it is Australia and they are famous for their lamb, I think. They certainly have a lot of sheep. So I'm gonna give it a try. I've had lamb before. I like lamb, as long as it's not too gamey. So we'll see how this turns out. And yeah, just thought I'd share that with everybody so you can see what we are eating. So my lamb souvlaki has arrived and it's really good. And Walter's chicken souvlaki as well. And what do you think of that?
It's very good.
Walter thinks that's good. And I let him try some of the lamb because he's not really a lamb fan. But you thought the lamb was pretty good, didn't you?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
I would have been okay with that.
Yeah, it's very nice.
We just had the most wonderful dessert here at this restaurant called Ismi, I think, in Cuff Harbor. And it was a creme brulee, salted caramel creme brulee. I'm still enjoying it. I wish I thought about this in a minute ago and took a picture of it. But this is really, really good. And there's an awful lot of it. Two could share this for the amount that's here. And price-wise, really not that much when you consider what it is. I think it's about 16 Aussie dollars for it. But it came with a little bit of fruit. I threw the fruit on top of it, and it's delicious. And it has these little things too, which I do not know what they are, but they're sort of remind you of a peanut brittle, but not quite. But delicious dessert.